Good afternoon, folks. Dad here with Elevation Diecast Racing. It is time for vans, wagons, and SUVs. Track temperature today, 69 degrees. And here's a look at the lineup as they will race down Mile High Raceway. All of them have been prepped and ready and had a couple of laps, of course. If you don't know by now, the paramedic Transit suffered some error at the factory and they put this wheel on backwards. So we put the Cadillac 59 Cadillac Hearst dragster in his place. He's a wagon and he's racing. So take a look at down the right side of the bracket. 32 vans, wagons, and SUVs getting ready to hit the track. So without any further ado, if there's any gaps for time's sake, it'll just be one and done. Otherwise, we'll switch them up, and the fastest lap after lane swaps will be considered the winner of that race. In lane number 1, we have the Hot Wheels Ford Transit Connect in the blue Art Car Series, driven by the V-Man, taking on one of the fan favorites in this race, Mr. Mom's minivan, driven by Hot Nuts Racing, Brian at 4114 Racing, Northern Roads Racing, 7th Avenue Diecast, and Clay 131 Racing. Let's see who gets down the lane first. Good race. 2120 to 05. We'll switch them. Mr. Mom needs greater than a 2102. Won't happen. 210 moves the Art Car Transit van to the round number 2. Next two up in the blocks in lane number 1 is the Hot Wheels Test Facility Ford Transit Connect, driven by Scale Racing Channel, taking on the Spider-Man SUV, which went driverless. Wow, that is a one-and-done race. Transit moving on to the next round. Next two staged and ready from the Honda series. It is the Honda Odyssey minivan. And in lane number 2 of the Hot Wagon series is the RS6 Avant Wagon, driven by Numbskull Racing and Hot Rod Customs Racing. Let's see who takes it down the lane first. Wow, minivan getting with it here. Whoo, 2103 to 10. 2103 is the time to beat. Wow, minivan getting with it, and a 210 takes him to round number 2. Next up, staged and ready in lane number 1 will be from Team Matchbox Transit Van, driven by Your Nightmare Racing, and in lane number 2 is the other Dodge Caravan. It's the Soccer Mom van, driven by Dada Racing, Milestone Racing, and Mr. Dennis Taylor. Wow, Transit van getting with it. 2091 to 98. Let's switch lanes. Soccer Mom needs to beat a 2091. Can she do it? Not this race. Matchbox Transit van in the Blistine colorway. Moving on. I'm starting to see a pattern here in Transit. Next two staged and ready. In lane number 1 is the Range Rover Velar. And in lane number 2, it would have been the paramedic Ford Transit, replaced by the 59 Cadillac Hearst, driven by Mountain Pirate Racing. Woo! Mountain Pirate Racing. 2123 by the Cadillac. Let's switch them. 2123 is the time to beat. Wow. Cadillac getting with it. 2117 moves him to round number 2. Next two staged and ready, we have the 66 GTO wagon in lane number 1, driven by Talking G.I. Joe and Larry Stipe. And they'll be taking on the Super Van in lane number 2, which is driven by the King of Hearts. Wow, Supervan taking care of the Nova quite handily. We're going to switch them. Not quite a car length beat. 2:105 will be the time to beat. I don't see it happening. We're going to run them again. There it goes. 2:110. Moving the Supervan on to round number 2. Next two up in the blocks, one of the 510 Bluebirds. This one from the Surf Patrol in lane number 1. And taking on the purple Dodge van, driven by Mick Olson. Let's see who can get down there faster. Van all day, 2:116. I'm going to call that a one-and-done victory, but because it's a Dodson, I'm just going to run it again. Just because it's a Dodson. It's a Dodson wagon. It's going to look good on the shelf, I can tell you that. Dodge van, moving on with a 10,000 speed to round number 2. All right, last one on this side of the bracket in lane number 1 from the Hot Wagons is the Volvo Estate 850, driven by Tyler Thurston, Bolo Brown, Redline Salvage Inc., Bad Fast Kentucky, J.C. Hayes, K.S. Racing, and Bathurst Diecast Racing, taking on the driverless 1967 Volkswagen delivery van by Matchbox on Tour Series. Not even close. 2:081 set down by the Volvo is enough to get him into round 2 without another race. Moving over to the other side of the bracket, it just seemed natural to put the two heavyweights together in the same race. And lane number 1 is the Final Run Ambulance by Hot Wheels, going driverless, taking on the Corgi Transit van, driven by the Chase Family Racing. Let's see if that Transit van can hold its trend of winning on Mile High today. Oh, wow, does he ever. 2:097. And he's in need of serious mechanical attention with a 2:15 Transit van moving on for Team Corgi. Okay, next up are a couple of driverless vehicles. It's the London Taxi by Matchbox and the Hot Wheels Tire Shop Time Shifter by Hot Wheels. So we got a Hot Wheels versus Matchbox in the race here today. Matchbox 2:131 and a 3:7. 2:131 Matchbox with the advantage. 2:122 moves him to round number 2. Next up in the blocks, the only Tomica to enter the race here today is the Mazda CX-5, driven by Bavarian Diecast Racing. He'll be taking on the Photo Finish Series Ford Aerostar, driven by Helium Gas and Aramis Rodriguez. Good race. Tomica, 2:104 to 06. That's a surprise to me. Aerostar needs to beat a 2:104. And he will not do it. Tomica moving on to the next round. Wow, I call that an upset. Next up in the blocks is the other colorway of the Range Rover Velar in lane 1. Lane number 2 is going to be the Austin Mini, driven by NZ Racing. Wow, Austin Mini putting the gap on him. 2:137 moves the Mini to round number 2. Next up, staged and ready in lane number 1 is the Hot Wheels Race Team Dodge van, driven by Zelda Diecast Racing, taking on the, I guess we'll call that the Pep Boys Transit van. We're going to let Isaiah's race team drive that one. Wow, 2:103 to 02 to 22. We'll switch them up. 2:103 is the time to beat. Wow, 2:105, moving that Transit on to the next round. Next two up in the blocks, another couple of driverless vehicles from the Hot Wagon series. The Chevy Nova wagon taking on another Ford Transit in the art, color, scheme. Wow. 2117 just blew the Transit out of the water, moving to round number 2. Is the second of the Hot Wagon series. All right, staged and ready in lane number 1 is another Corgi, now in the Hot Wheel division. It is the Mercedes 300 TD wagon, driven by Cut Rocker Diecast and Diecast Show Customs, taking on the VW Transporter. It's Richie's Pizza. Let's see if the Pizza Man can beat the Mommy's Grocery Getter. Woo! Pizza Van getting it. Woo! 2129. Let's switch them. I expected more out of that Grocery Getter, to be honest with you. 2129 is the time to beat. 2129, running steady and consistent. Richie's Pizza delivers to the next round. And in the final race of round number 1, staged and ready. From the Hot Wagon series in lane 1, sole driver is Chris Hood, taking on the Hot Wheels Super Van, driven by Hippie Wild Child Racing, Alva 1370, Dog Squad Racing, and DXP Diecast Racing. Let's see who takes it down the lane first. Wagon getting it done. 2095 to 13. We'll run them one more time. 2095, the time to beat. Wow. 2089. Wagon getting faster, moving to round number 2. And there is a look at the next round. Coming up. A lot of Transits have made it past the first round. We'll see how it all goes down. First, we're going to take a moment, clean this track, and get some of the debris off to make sure we have as much speed out of these as we can possibly get. Stay right here. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. 32 runs, 16 done. 2 Transits up in the blocks. Round 2 is underway. Wow. Art Car getting it done. 2105 to 16. Let's switch them up. 2105 is the time to beat. Wow, Transit Van getting it done. 2104 gets him to round number 3. Should be a good race. We got the Honda Odyssey in lane 1 and the Matchbox Transit Van in lane number 2. Who gets down there first? Wow, Transit Van not messing around. 2096 to 04. Let's switch them. 2096 is the time to beat. Transit Van getting it done with a 2098, moving to round number 3. And it's too bad I had high hopes for this particular casting. Maybe next time. Next 2 up, the King of Hearts Super Van and the 59 Cadillac Van. 2116. Let's switch them over. Cadillac needs to beat a 2116 or it's back to the graveyard. Not going to happen. Van speeding up to a 2109 victory will land him into round number 3. Next up, the purple Van has a chance to make it Van Transit semifinal. Or does the wagon put a fork in the works here and gobble up that time? Van with ease. 2086 will float him into round number 3. Moving over to the right side of the bracket for the quarters, heading into the quarters, Mr. James Earlham. Can he take out the London Taxi? Transit Van keeping head with the winning ways here. 2088 gets him to round number 3. All right, the Mazda SUV taking on that Ford Aerostar. Could be a picture-perfect race. Good race. 2106 to 11. Let's switch lanes. 2103 to 104. Wow. Tomika moves on to round number 3. What a race. All right. It's that Austin Mini taking on another Ford Transit Connect. Wow. 2101 is the time to beat. Gap City 2097. He's getting faster. I don't know if you caught that, but I did. That's how I got messed up. I wasn't paying attention to the board. So the Pep Boys just beat the car he beat to get here. Taking on the wagon. I thought that looked funny. Pep Boys still getting it done. 2096 will be the time to beat if that wagon wants to make it. Not going to happen. 2094. And that Transit is moving on and getting faster. All right. Last one of round number 2. It's the Richie's Pizza VW Transit Bus. Taking on the Datsun Bluebird 510. Wow. 2098. We'll switch them. Let's see if we can get any more speed out of this wagon. Oh, yeah. 2091. Moving on to round number 3. Another good Hot Wheels versus Matchbox race to kick off round number 3. Hot Wheels Transit taking on the Matchbox Transit van. Winner going on to the semifinal race. Close race. 2097 and a 10,000 beat by the Matchbox Transit. So a better than 2097 will be the ticket to get to round number 4. Wow, 2096 by the Matchbox Transit will get the job done. What a race. Question is, who's going to meet him there? The King of Hearts van or the Hot Wagons Volvo Estate wagon? My dough's on the wagon. All day long. 2080, he is getting faster. We're just going to call that one and done. All right. Does the Corgi have what it takes to take out the mighty Tomica, who has made it this far? Surprise upset of the race, I'm going to call. But let's see. Corgi Transit taking on the Tomica Mazda CX-5. Good race, actually. 2098 to 08. Let's switch those lanes up. 2098 will be the time to beat. Wow, Transit getting faster. 2084. That puts away the Tomica. And then there was one Transit van left, taking on the other wagon, 510, from the Hot Wagons. Who's going to the semis? Wow, closer race than I thought. 91 to 92. Let's switch them up. If that Transit wins, I'm going to call that an absolute upset. Wagon pulling it off. 94 to 96, and the bigger beat in the first race. And the wagon by the hair of his chinny chin chin moving into the semis. And then there were 4. Matchbox Transit taking on the Volvo Estate wagon. James Earlham Corgi Transit taking on the Datsun Bluebird wagon. Should be a good race. Let's see who's going to the finals and who's going to the battle for third. Volvo 2080 and a 11,000 speed. 2080 is the time to beat. Wagon all day. 2080 once again to be seen in the final race. Very surprised more people did not pick the Corgi casting. I'm going to call that the no confidence in Corgi man. James Earlham taking on the wagon. Can he get it done to get to the final? Oh yeah, 2090 to 94. Let's switch those lanes. 290 is the time to beat. 2089, wow, by the wagon. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Again by the hair of his little chin. Moving into the final race. Can you even believe it? But before we get to the final, let's see who takes third place. I can't believe this thing is not in the final race. Should be a good one. 2 Transits battling it out for third. Corgi out in front, 2087. Where was that run earlier? 5,000 speed. 6,000 speed. Corgi up on top, 2087 is the time to beat. 2098, not gonna do it. And so far the Corgi sitting third. And here it is, the race final. Who would have thought? Two from the Hot Wagon series, the 510 and the Volvo. First car to win 3 is going to be declared our winner, and then the second place will take on the James Earlham Corgi Transit Van to decide true second and third place. Let's get it on here. Who's going to take it? Woo! Blistine got a nudge for his troubles and not getting off the track. Nevertheless, 2081 to 87. Volvo with a 1 race lead. Can the Datsun make it a race? No. 2077 now. Whoa. Can the Datsun pull a miracle run? Not a chance. And the Volvo taking the overall win, but let's see who is true second and third place. All right, fastest time after switching lanes. What a race. 9.3 to 9.8. 9.3 is the time to beat. Wow, 9.1 gets it done. And there you have it. There is your winner of the race. The Volvo Estate Wagon, driven by Tyler Thurston, Bolo Brown. Redline Salvage Inc., Bad Fast Kentucky, J.C. Hayes, KS Racing, and Bathurst Diecast Racing. Taking the number 2 spot was another one from the Hot Wagon series, the Volvo Bluebird, or not Volvo, but the Bluebird Wagon 510, driven by Chris Hood. And taking up the number 3 spot is the Corgi Transit Van, driven by the Chase Family Racing. Congratulations for picking a winner in today's race, a podium crasher. Very tough to do. This was a hard one to pick for, and definitely a fun race to run. Stick around. We're going to see if this Volvo can take anything out in his division right after we get back from the speed shop. Okay, we went ahead and cleaned the track once again to get all the debris off from the race. And tough customer here as the gatekeeper to the 41 to 50 weight class. Let's see if this Volvo can make headway into this rank. We've seen that Volvo run a 2077. Here we go, 2073. Now we're talking. So the Mercedes will find his way into the box club. I'm telling you, getting older's a blast. Wrong guy. 41 to 50 gatekeeper is this. But if he beat that Mercedes by 10, I have no trouble believing he's going to beat this guy. Let's get older, the kid said. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Be able to do what I want. Boy, it's not like that. Volvo trying to take out the gatekeeper. Wow, a lot closer. 77 and greater than 3. Woo, 78, don't do it. So indeed, it will be the Mustang going to the box club. This time, I'm certain. Let's give the wagon a couple of solo runs. 2072, okay. Running pretty good. Running pretty good. Let's see. One more. Well, he'll get into the ranks for now, but I don't think he'll get very far without another rework. Let's see how he fares against Mr. Benson. Can't take him out. 75 to 79. Tough class here. 2075 and a greater than 4,000 speed. 2077, not gonna get it done. Let's move in. Let's see. Let's try the Supra. He sits number 42. I think he might be able to take out the Supra. What do you think? $78 to $80. 2078 and a greater than 2,000 feet needed by the Toyota. Not gonna do it. Let's see how he fares against the cop rods. Way too fast. Oh, he'll get him. 2073 to 78. Now he's picking up speed. 2073 and a greater than 4,000 speed. 77 will not get it done. Can he beat the Gold Hot Ones Pack and Pacer? Nope. 80 to 82. Let's switch them. 2080 and a greater than 2,000 speed is what the Volvo needs. 2074 and a greater than 2,000 speed is what he got. Seems to like that inside lane. Let's give the advantage to the placeholder. MX48. Good race. 81 to 82. 2081 and a greater than 1,000 speed. Volvo getting it done, which will get him one more shot at Johnny Benson for spot 38. Volvo this time getting him by 6. 2074 and greater than 6,000 beat. Doesn't do it, and the Volvo will get past Johnny Benson this time around. It's only going to get tougher as you get into this rank. It's the Gold Hot Ones. Flat out 442. 442. Shutting him down quite handily. Wow, that's 14 thousandths. 2074 is the time to beat. 2078 will not get it done. All right, that's going to do it. So placing in the winner of Vans, Wagons, and SUVs, number 38, the Volvo Wagon, pending a rework, I'll expect him to at least get in to the top 30. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, share it into groups. We appreciate the feedback. And if your car isn't fast, at least it'll look good on the shelf. Have a great weekend.